Welcome to Doing Business in China. We appreciate you being here with us today. We are Reagan Bierma, McKay Covington, Zach Decker, Jared Quass, and Caitlin Wilhelm. We plan to discuss political, economic, and cultural environments that may affect doing business with China in the future. The United States and China differ in 4 categories of the Hofstede cultural dimensions: power distance, individualism, long-term orientation, and indulgence. These differences could potentially create problems when negotiating with teams from China. We need to keep in mind that they tend to focus more on the group rather than individuals. Negotiations are often done as a group and decisions are rarely made by one person alone. Their score of 87 in long-term orientation means that developing long-term personal relationships must often come before a business deal. They are also able to adapt their traditions and beliefs to a changing future more easily than countries with a more short-term orientation like the United States. China scores a 24 in indulgence, which means they're more restrained compared to the United States, which scores a 68. This restraint is evident in their moderate behavior. They are careful to control their emotions and not cause offense and are less likely to make indulgent purchases. China operates on a high-context communication scale, which means they use fewer words than low-context cultures and allow the listener to interpret the underlying message behind the spoken words. Their reserved business culture also allows for a flexible meeting schedule, which makes their business meetings very fluid. They may go back to a previously covered topic that someone from the U.S. believed was finished. Chinese negotiators give indirect negative feedback with little to no facial expressions, expecting the listener to understand the implied meaning. They also avoid conflict and debate, which they feel are harmful to the business environment. They tend to withdraw emotionally when conflicts turn into an argument or debate. When negotiating, Chinese negotiators commonly use patience and persistence as tactics. Since people from the United States are more short-term oriented, they tend to want results immediately, while their Chinese counterparts are more willing to wait. They may even delay a decision if they know you are working to a deadline, hoping for more concessions and a better deal. They are to know they negotiate in groups, and one single person is not in charge of being the decision maker. They may employ long silences, which may feel awkward to U.S. negotiators, causing them to feel added pressure and make more conscious than planned. Sorry, not conscious, more concessions than planned. Another common tactic is appealing to personal relationships to add more pressure and guilt to the negotiations. A final aspect of Chinese negotiation is their focus on maintaining balance and harmony. They will not openly disagree, so we need to be aware of hidden meanings behind vague responses and always deal kindly to encourage cooperation. China has been known as the People's Republic of China, or CPC, since 1949, when the Communist Party took over the country from the Nationalist Party reign. The nation is currently led by President Xi Jinping, who took office in March of 2013. Xi Jinping also serves as General Secretary of the Communist Party. The Communist Party remains in complete control of China, thus dubbing it a single-party state. China owns all of the land and many businesses. Tension among the United States and China has grown to an all-time high in the latest months. Businesses and consumers can expect an increase in product pricing due to a 15% increase tariff on Chinese imported goods. Trade wars are directly impacting business overhead costs, which flow directly to consumers and drive prices higher. This chart of Economic Freedom Index shows China's overall level of freedom in the market at 58.4. China is ranked the 100th freest country in the world and categorized as most unfree. China is below the world average in property rights with a low score of 49.9. Many foreign businesses who do business with China experience piracy of the intellectual property due to the current policies and practices. This is further promoted by corrupt government officials who encourage the practice. China's worst scores are in investment and financial freedoms. The majority of Chinese banks and investment groups are owned by the Chinese government and are not open to foreign investment. Government protection from foreign competition serves to increase corruption and makes it more difficult for foreign businesses to establish a foothold. This is a map of free trade zones created by the Chinese government, with each zone's trade focus listed below its name. The Chinese government provides several incentives to encourage foreign businesses to invest directly in China in these areas, including lower import tariffs, streamlined custom clearances, reduced land and resource use fees, and streamlined government approvals. The most incentives are provided for businesses investing in high technology, clean energy, and export-oriented sectors like manufacturing. The most restricted industries are weapons, environment, water supply, electricity distribution, and telecommunications. China currently holds the free trade agreement with 19 countries, 12 of which are bilateral trade agreements. Some of their most important FTAs include one with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, known as ASEAN, another with the Southern African Customs Union, SACU, and another known as the Asian Pacific Trade Agreement. China's gross national income per capita, PPP, has been rising steadily over the last 5 years. As income levels increase, the citizens enjoy a better quality of life since they can purchase more than basic necessities. A population with more flexible income is good for businesses investing directly in China. China's gross national product growth rate has been positive from 2013 to 2017, though the rate has decreased in the most recent years. China is currently transitioning from a product-based economy to one more focused in service industries, which may be one cause of the economic slowdown. In 2015, the Chinese yuan continuously gained value compared to the US dollar. However, while the yuan was gaining value, the Chinese economy was slowing, so the government decided to decrease the value of the yuan. This change made the exports look more attractive to foreign markets, but made imports much more costly. Substitute products began to appear in the domestic industry, which helped solidify the value of the yuan through natural inflation rather than government-induced. This can be seen in an upward trend from 2017 into 2018. In 2019, the United States imposed tariffs on Chinese imports, which has caused the yuan's value to decrease yet again. Our first product idea is a multifunctional walker. Chinese population is aging quickly, with over 18% of the population over age 60. With only one child per family, the next generation is not able to care for all their elderly family members, and organized care for senior citizens in China is woefully lacking. This multi-use walker would help the aging population to stay independent for longer, as it would help improve limited mobility and would save space by only having one unit that can be used for walking, stability and shower, and assisting during bathroom use. Designing it to be rest-proof, easy to clean, and 2 wheels in the back that can be locked for safety will meet a huge need that is only going to get worse in coming years. Chinese labor costs are steadily increasing, and wood is a limited resource, which makes domestic production of paper products to meet growing needs nearly impossible. The need for paper product continues to rise as China's population continues to grow and their natural resources become even more depleted. The average MFN tariff is at 4.1%, and the Chinese government hasn't made any external barriers on paper imports. Paper is also biodegradable, which is always a positive in the densely populated country like China. China has the second largest economy in the world and has paid environmentally for it with polluted air, contaminated land, uninhabitable areas, and badly contaminated drinking water. Clean water, a necessity for survival, is something that China is struggling to provide. This would be a great opportunity to provide clean and pure drinking bottled water, shipped and sold in China for a premium. The 3 local competitors are Waha, Nongfu, and Kongshifu. Unlike their cheaper bulk water, a better option for foreign imported water would be to increase value and demand by marketing the water as high class or exotic, as well as cleaner than their local bottled water. Similar to how Fiji or Voss water makes in the US, we could charge much more for the same product if we can convince the Chinese to believe our water is better and cleaner simply because it is foreign. We are sold, if we sold at the same price as lower quality local bottled water and only took a 4% market share in the $50 billion spent annually on bottled water, we could take $2 billion in revenue. That concludes our presentation, and thank you for your time.